So Sydney Grace has got their Christmas in July sale. I got my colorful folks covered. Hey, good looking. I'm Kendra Morgan Official, and if you like single eyeshadows, makeup brushes that aren't Morphe, or sunscreens, then please do subscribe to my channel below and let's get started. I'm going to be giving you guys some in-depth swatches of some colorful eyeshadows from Sydney Grace today. I know they're having their Christmas in July sale, so I thought I would pick out 12 shadows that are colorful from Sydney Grace's collection, singles collection, and show them off to you. Today I will have an in-depth swatch party for you, and then I will share my final thoughts as to why you might want to take a look at some of the other videos that I have linked for you in the eye, and those are my Sydney Grace warm tone shadows and Sydney Grace cool tone shadows. Why you might be more interested in picking up some of them. But at any rate, if you picked up all 12 of these shadows, you would get, I think I put out $66 or $68, and so you would get Monday sale, which is the Coffee Talk palette, or Wednesday they have another palette launching as well. So anyways, without any further ado, let's get started and check out some of these in-close and in-depth swatches. Starting off with the first shadow in the palette, and again, no particular order, I just grabbed these shadows. This is the shade, I can't even see it. Was it Tempest? It is a shimmery green shade. Yep, Tempest is the shadow. It's super vibrant, super shiny, and super shimmery. This is the shadow Flannel. This is their super shiny, not shifty, but really, really shimmery purple. It's like a very, very royal purple. It's really shimmery, really shiny, very beautiful. I really like this shade. Sweetheart is more of that berry toned purple, not so much royal purple, but more of the berry toned metallic purple. If you have brown eyes, I really think that would be a shadow that would look really good. That cranberry berry has a little bit more brown. Orange Slush, there's my helper back there. Orange Slush is the fourth shadow that I'm showing you guys swatches of, and it's just a really vibrant orange, Fanta Orange Crush shadow. And it doesn't have any shifts, but it's really beautiful. So then Mint Green is the next shade that I'm showing you swatches of. It's more blue than it is mint green, but it really does depend on if you're showing it next to a green shadow or a blue shadow, and it kind of looks the opposite. Then I have the shadow Springtime. It kind of looks like a mild duochrome, if I'm really being honest. It is more dull in luster, and it's kind of more of a pastel shimmer, if you will. But again, you can see that mint green looks more blue against this green that's right next to it, and it's kind of hard to get a good swatch. It's a little more powdery. Yeah, you can see it's out of focus, but I am up there just digging around and trying to get a good swatch, and it lacks a little bit in pigment. So Gisa Lang is the first matte shadow I'm showing you guys from my palette that I've put together, and it is a kind of a pale yellow canary shade, and it works really well, but when it swatches, not so much. Here I am building up a second layer just to get that matte shadow to show up and show the true color. It does take some building. Then I've got the shade Thrilled. It appears in a couple of my dupe videos, my Raw Beauty Christie, my BH Cosmetics Pistachio palette, and I think there's one other shade or one other palette that I dupe using this shade with, but it's just a really, really deep, dark, rich turquoise. Princess Pepe is I would call it a golden red. It's a metallic, it's very shiny. In luster, it's kind of like those first four shadows that I showed you. It is similar to Sweetheart, however, it's more on the red brown side than it is on the berry cranberry side. Then we've got Tangerine. It is a matte orange, burnt orange shade, and it is super beautiful. It's also in my Natasha Denona Biba palette, dupe comp palette. It's the most vibrant orange I could find in my collection, and I could find online, I believe, as well. There might be a couple of other ones, but they lean more brown in my opinion. Then Green Anjou is a matte grass green, kind of trends towards the lime green, but it really stays true to that grass green, and it doesn't swatch very good. I will say, in Sydney Grace's defense, none of my green shadows from Coastal Scents really swatch all that great. Along with Makeup Geek, they never really swatch all that great, but they are really, really good shadows to use. They're really strong workhorses. So I just built that up a second time. Then lastly, the pale lavender shade Regal. I chose that as a colorful purple, but if you notice, almost all of my matte shades are a little bit dull in pigmentation. It's not like any of my Coastal Scents where they're very, very vibrant shades. They're all very wearable shadows in the collection. And if you're finding value in this content, make sure you subscribe down below. I also want to make some final remarks on some of the shadows in this collection. I also am going to link in the eye for you my cool tones and my warm tone selections from Sydney Grace that I recommend. I don't, however, recommend very many of the colorful shadows. I don't know what it is, but Sydney Grace, her formula doesn't really lend a whole lot in the way of shimmery shades that are like shimmery, high luster, and then high pigmentation. If you notice, when you have a high pigmentation, it seems to lack a little bit in the color department, or at least I kind of felt so. Like, for example, this Springtime shade right here, it was just really kind of a bust for me as far as that goes. I generally like to look towards Divina, Luxie Beauty, and Makeup Geek to get some of my more foiled, colorful shades. I'm talking about Makeup Geek's old shadows, not their new. Her newer ones are much more like neutral and wearable, but these top 4 shades would be my highly recommend, and then these bottom 4 shades would be, yes, I'm not saying I don't recommend the shades, but just take a look at the swatches, decide for yourself if those are really truly shadows that you want. I noticed that her mattes are a wearable colorful matte, if that makes sense. It's not a vibrant, you know, Morphe collaborated with Madison Beer, whatever her name is. That's not the type of mattes you're going to find with Sydney Grace. They're a little bit more dulled down a little bit. They're a little bit more grunge. I don't want to say they're grungy because I don't feel like they're grungy, but they are toned down a lot, and it seems like they add a little bit of gray just to kind of keep it more on the wearable, everyday looking style. Like Gisa Lang is very, very beautiful yellow canary, but again, it's not like bam in your face. So I hope that's helpful, and if you find this content helpful, make sure you subscribe down below. Can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye.